down. You're all good to go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Here's your seatbelt. Right, I'm gonna plug your helmet in so you can hear the instructor. Find the cord. What is it? Hey. A mess. Got a little nest. Okay, there you go. All right. Comfortable? All right, foot on the brake. Give me a start right there with that button. All right, toggle switch all the way to the right that says mode. Up 3 times, please. There you go. You're in track mode and ready to go.
Fantastic.
Have fun. Okay, you're going to be the first guy. You're going to be following the instructor.
Okay.
Hey, Noel. Our first driver is... The orange car? Right. You're going to be behind the orange car. The red car.
Red,
Reddish
okay.
orange.
Hey Gearheads, Matt here, and I wanted to take an opportunity to share with you this unique experience that I was a part of just a couple of weeks ago with Ford Performance and Shelby Performance and the incredible Mustang GT500. It was a riot, absolutely incredible. Watching the video back, right about this point, I'm sitting there going, what am I doing? How did I do this? How did I score this seat here in this car? 760 horsepower under my right foot. Beautiful 7-speed Tremec dual clutch automatic transmission. Absolutely incredible car. I did write a blog post about this that will help kind of put you in the passenger seat with me at gtgaragetalk.com. Go check that out. And the title of it is, I'm buying an automatic muscle car, because this automatic was unlike anything I had ever experienced. It was intuitive, it was smart, it was quick. The shifts were exactly what they needed to be when they needed to be there, and it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. I loved this car. So at about this point, there's a guy on the radio that's telling us, hey, you're going to be in this car, you're going to follow that car, this is what we're going to do, go ahead and put it in drive, we're going to make our way over and line up, and then the instructor will take over and kind of give you a rundown of how the lap's going to go. Giving us a little bit of direction here. You see me nodding to the guy that's outside the driver window there. My heart is racing. I don't know if you can see my chest thumping there, but yeah, there was no controlling my breathing. There was no controlling my pulse. I mean, an absolute incredible experience. Not only did I get to drive this car on a track, but it was Texas Motor Speedway. So it was a combination of the road course and the oval there at Texas Motor Speedway, and the way they had it all set up and designed, it really gave you ample opportunity to feel how the car reacts and responds to the different environments, both on a flat track and on the banked oval of the Texas Motor Speedway. It was incredible. So I pulled up right here, and the instructor that's in front of me, so this was a lead follow setup. There was an instructor in front of me, then myself, and then 2 other journalists in the 2 vehicles behind me. And basically, he set the pace. If we were sticking with him pretty good, he'd increase the speed a little bit. If we were falling behind, he would back off and let us catch up. But a really cool way of learning the car, learning the track, and having this unique opportunity. It was a lot of fun. He's giving us some instructions on how he's going to communicate to us and what's happening and when, and if we ever have any issues, just flash the lights at him and he'll slow down or whatever. I'll speak to it in a few minutes, but so we were the first group out, and by the time we got around, it was either at the beginning of our, I think it was at the beginning of our third lap, we actually caught up with the group that was in front of us, which I believe was the third group that left out. So 4 cars would go out at a time. They'd get everybody geared up and ready and set up. There were actually 30 cars there available, 30 2021 Mustang Shelby GT500 cars there at the track, just on the track. There were more than that even. There were several cars on display. There were a couple of cars doing 0 to 100 to 0, and I'll show you a clip of that in a minute. There was another car that we opened with doing the burnout, and he did a couple of other demonstrations. The line lock was one of them, and that was the video you saw at the beginning of this video. That was the clip you saw at the beginning of this video. I lucked out and was in this beautiful orange Mustang. Probably one of my favorite colors on this car. The green also was just incredible. And the green and black contrast, the carbon fiber that was on the car was just, man, it just, everything about it looked really, really good. So here we're setting off and kind of roll out of the pits a little slow, and then we roll into the power. So on this track, there's a long straight right here. It's probably close to about 500 feet long, 400 to 500 feet long. And then we're hard on the brakes for a 180-degree turn to the right. It was an interesting sensation because you wanted to follow the guy that was in front of you because he was setting the line, he was setting the pace, but you couldn't focus purely on him because you needed to pay attention to what was happening on the track and where you were on the track throughout the whole thing. So it was a bit of a challenge, but it was really cool. So after that first 180, then it's back 180 the other direction and pushes us up onto the front straight of Texas Motor Speedway, and picking up speed probably around 70 or 80 miles an hour for this first round through the oval, and you can hear the car shifting and rolling on into the power. Probably 85 or 90 coming out of this corner up into triple digit speed on the back straight here, which is a not straight. So they had a couple of different cones set up through that back straight that would tell you, continue accelerating here, begin to slow down at this point. That was the part of it that I struggled with the most. I had a tough time trying to figure that out, where to lift, where to brake. I would always lift early, and throughout this whole thing, it was pretty cool because the lead driver, the trainer for the day, was giving us cues, giving us things to look for, different cones on different areas. So wait to brake until you get to this cone, and on the throttle until this point, and all those types of things, and don't turn in until you get to this point. And that helped a lot with my comfortability with the car and with the track. So we just came off of the oval, 180 to the left, which was a pretty tight 180, and then back to the right, and then through this little chicane that meets back up with the exit of the pit, and hard on the power here, and then hard on the brakes. You can see me kind of lean forward a little bit in the car there against the seat belt. Really, really cool experience. And every lap I got faster, every lap we got faster, and every lap I got more and more comfortable with this car. I will tell you, I did not come anywhere close to the limit of this vehicle. It wanted so much more than I can give it, and I'll speak to that also here in a minute, because at the end of our laps, they asked us if we wanted to do a hot lap, and so we actually got to get in the passenger seat and have a professional driver take us around the track. And oh my goodness, the speed, the capability of this car far exceeded my limitations. So this was the second time around. Like I said, struggled with this back straight, trying to figure out where to lift and where to be on the brakes. And so a lot of the times I would let the car coast and roll into the corner a little bit, kind of get on the brakes some, but really didn't have to a whole lot, because typically by the time we got to the corner, I was at a speed where the car was comfortable running through the corner. And I don't remember if it was, it was this one here. The second time around the track, I let the car do a little more of the work, and I got a little deep into the corner before I hit the brakes. But oh my goodness, the brakes on this thing. The rotor diameter is larger in diameter, and the caliper is wider in width than the 1968 GT500 that they had on display there. Its wheel. So the caliper is wider than the 68 wheel, and the rotor is larger in diameter than the 68 wheel. And oh my goodness, I understand completely when a reviewer, when a driver, when somebody behind the wheel of a car says that that vehicle inspires confidence, because that is absolutely what this car did and what this car does. I never ever reached the limit. I'll probably say it 4 or 5 times in this video. I never came close to the limit of this car. 315s on the rear of it, 305s on the front, and it just, it was incredible. So at this point, I guess it was at the end of the second lap, we had caught up with the group in front of us, so we slowed way down to come through that 180 to get back up on the bank or back up on the oval, and slowed down and then rolled right back into the throttle. So in turns 1 and 2, which is what we're in right now, rolling through, coming out of turn number 2 right here, the fastest I got, or the most comfortable I got with the car, was about 101 going through that corner there. And the fastest I got on the back straight was 117. So 117 miles an hour on the straight was as comfortable as I was with the car. And good grief, if I had spent another half hour out there, I probably could have gotten it even faster than that. But that's where I was on the comfortability level, and it was incredible to experience. On the hot lap, I was in the passenger seat, and I would glance over at the speedometer every once in a while, and through turns 1 and 2, we were doing 120. So 3 miles an hour faster in the banked corner than I was going on the back straight. And through the back straight, coming out of turn number 2, we were doing 150 before we were on the brakes to enter into corners 3 and 4. Just to give you an idea of how much more capable this car is than I am, and to give you an idea of how ridiculous this car is. This is a street car. This is a production vehicle, and it'll run 150 miles an hour on a NASCAR track. Now, to give you, or to offer a little more perspective on that, we're doing 50 miles an hour slower than what a NASCAR would be doing on that back straight, which absolutely boggles my mind. So this was when I was much more comfortable. You see me check the mirror there to see where I was leaving the cars behind me, but this one I believe I have a little glance down. A glance right there, and 100 miles an hour in that corner. This was my 4th lap, and so this would have been right about here. I checked the speedo again. Where is it? Oh, I don't guess I looked at it at that time. There's a little bit of a glance, but 117 was the fastest that I saw, trying to pay as much attention as I could to what I was doing, in a $100,000 car. But this car was just absolutely incredible. There I am, hard on the brakes again, and see me shifting forward in the car, turning into that tight left-hander, and then rolling back onto the throttle again. And again, throughout the whole course, the lead driver is giving us instruction Most of it was difficult to hear just because of the way that they had everything wired up and set up. He was talking through a radio, but if you paid close enough attention, you could hear the different elements, the different things he was talking through and whatnot. Again, where to brake, where to accelerate, how far to accelerate, how far to take the car into that corner or this corner, when to turn in, all those types of things. And just absolutely incredible, absolutely blast of a trip. Okay, so this must be our 4th lap around. I wasn't paying close enough attention. So this is the 4th lap, and here we are, tight, coming up onto the bank. That's a 5-degree bank on the straights, and turns 1 and 2 are at 20 degrees. No, I'm sorry, turns 1 and 2 are at 24 degrees, turns 3 and 4 are at 20 degrees, and if you've never been on a banked oval before, I highly recommend that experience because that was absolutely incredible. So here's where I'm going to glance, yeah, right there, and look down at the 117 mile an hour speed that I was carrying through that straight. That's the fastest I've ever been in anything, aside from my wife's Camry on a closed private road, of course. Yeah, no, this was much more composed, much more together, and good grief. The fastest I've ever been in a vehicle was in this vehicle, but in the passenger seat on the hot laps, which came up right after this. Unfortunately, I don't have any video of that. I wish I would have thought ahead of time and brought the GoPro with me and been able to video while I was in the car and somebody else was driving. But just an absolutely surreal experience in this car. I can't say it enough. This car is incredible, absolutely incredible. The suspension, the tires, the power, the way the power comes on. I mean, the car responds the same whether you're at 60% throttle or 100% throttle. It wants to go, and it makes it easy to drive this car fast because of how capable it is, but also because of how linear that power band is. It just, again, it blew me away.
All right, seat all the way back, please. Would you like to do a hot lap today?
Yes, I would.
Okay, go ahead and unbuckle. Turn the car off. Come right out. Go right back in here, okay?
All right, folks. Just left Texas Motor Speedway. It's right there in the background. I don't even know what to say. This is going to take me a couple of days to process. Never have I been in anything that fast. I've never been on a track like that. I've never experienced anything anywhere close to this. 150 miles an hour in a production vehicle on a racetrack. Absolutely insane, and an incredible opportunity. And thank you, Ford Performance, for the event, for the opportunity, for the experience. It was incredible, and you guys were awesome and helpful and willing to answer any questions. Very professional, very well done event. Thank you, and man, I'll see you guys soon.